Hi everybody, this is Bryce, and I'm looking at CasualConc, which is a concordance program that runs natively on Macs. It was originally designed for casual use, specifically for preliminary analysis or non-research purposes, but the creator of it has said that he actually found that he was able to use it for a lot of his research. It can generate quick concordance lines, word clusters, collocation analysis, and word counts. So it's designed for and works best with English and Japanese, as the creator of this is also a native Japanese speaker, and it's been checked for these two specifically, but other European languages have been said to work with it as well. So it can be found through Google. If I'm here, I can go to a Google tab and just put in CasualConc, maybe. There we go. And it's through Google Sites. In fact, you even download it through Google Drive, and all the materials, the supplemental materials that are on here, um, are done through Google Drive. So, as I mentioned, it was developed for Mac, and thus this means it doesn't have the option of running on PCs, which is a relevant point considering the third to fourth generation gap in concordances that we just read about this week. So it can do a lot of really cool things. For statistically oriented people, it might be of interest that this software is linked to R to allow for statistical modeling and visualizations. For those who don't know what R is, it's a really powerful and really useful statistical package or statistical software. And I'm going to pull this up while I'm talking. Um, R is used for statistical modeling and for visualizations across many different fields, but it has a pretty impressive presence in linguistics. So before I get into that, let's look at some of the visualizations that CasualConc can do when it's linked up to R. I'm going to actually zoom in a bit so you can see. Like here we have a cluster analysis, which I don't know if everyone has been able to come to the Fools meetings, but Dr. Preston actually did a little lab rats meeting presentation talking about the importance of cluster analyses and how they can really provide interesting insight into different numbers or projects. Word clouds, which is always fun. Also kind of interesting that Harry Potter's up here when we have our Harry Potter assignment this week for tagging. Radar chart, those are getting big right now in statistics. Correspondence analysis, which is really cool. MDS, PCA, a lot of network analysis is actually really interesting, and a heat map. So this is just some of the stuff that R does, but it can do actually even more than that. So let's take a look at what CasualConc looks like. At first, you have to open your file and load it into here. I have done that with my transcriptions of my respondents from my study of gay Oklahomans. So unfortunately, doing things is actually like doing these statistical things that you see pictures of here is actually quite difficult. For one, you do have to know how R works, and you have to use a little bit of computer line-like writing for R. Uh, Also, the layout is a little clunky, and so trying to figure out how to use this and getting the hang of using CasualConc can be a little time-consuming. I tried a number of different ways to get some useful readings out of this data, but in the end, I was only able to do a few simple things. So because it's clunky, that kind of gets in the way. Well, for example, it appears that when working with like multiple files like these, that you can only look at one at a time instead of putting them all together. Secondly, let's just do this for example. If I do a word count like this, I did notice this is my fault, but things like, so if I want to do a word count for 2 grams, or that's 2 pieces, then things like this show up, don and t, which is clearly don't, which is one word, but that's just a spelling error on my part that CasualConc has picked up as 2 words. Of course, I mean, it would take like seriously complex and sophisticated software linked to the English language and dictionary terms, which could convolute things even more for it to be able to look at this word and know that it's not 2 different words. But um, there are ways to get around that, like working with your transcripts that have uh, good spelling practices, I guess. But yeah, so one thing I can do here is you can change. You have 2 columns with which to look at stuff. So here I have word count for this is for Chance in his second interview which I happen to know has to do with more of a not qualitative, more attitudinal type stuff towards language in Oklahoma. But I might also be able to do something here like stats. Oh no, that's not gonna work. Like, so let's word count. We can do frequency. Oh goodness. There's a word count. Well, as you can see, I'm still struggling to figure out exactly how all this works. But I can do a collocation, so what if I do I? No, really, yeah, don't, like, so I need to work on some of my transcripts to make this a little bit more ideal. And also, if I were able to do multiple files all at once, that might also be cooler. I know that in MonoConc, it's a little bit more easy um, to do these kinds of searches. However, MonoConc does not have the statistical packaging that this program does. So you gotta give and take here and there. Anyway, that's about all I have to show you guys today. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.